Hey, this is Swooper, and we're back with another unboxing video. Today we have a special little treat here. We got the Ironmonger, Iron Lad, Kang, and Rescue box. Shout out to AMG for sending us this a little bit early. This box is massive. This is just like comparison. This is the normal three-man box. This thing is huge. So super excited to bust it open and see what we have inside. I even had to back the camera because it was too dang big. Open. I'll cut my fingers off. Inside you have all your usual stuff. Oh, instruction manual. Gives you all the info you need, where to go, so you can figure out how to put together your models. I usually don't have too much trouble putting them together. They seem pretty self-explanatory for the most. There's very few I've ever had. Lots of cards. So all of our character cards, of course, all our extra cards in the various languages. Those aside. Iron Lad card. Ironmonger card. That's really cool art with the missiles and everything. That's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to put that together. This one is the one I'm excited to paint the most. I think Kang is gonna be really cool. And Rescue. We get the four character cards. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, that's a lot of cards. Yeah, 8 tactics cards in one box. Ooh, they are wordy cards. Check out the art in the back. They've been killing it on the art. That one is super cool. Ooh, that one might be better. Ooh, all the Kang ones are really cool. Then you get a set of 3 tokens for your Kang card for the time manipulation, I think. Where you can put them on the round timer to cause different effects. Yeah. There's a couple of Ironmonger's pieces must have came all. One large base, and everybody else is on small bases except for Kang. But Kang looks like comes with his own personal base. Ooh, it looks like he comes with options. I knew the other ones came with options. I didn't know he did. That gun's really cool. I think we might have to. Ooh, and that's a tough call. Hmm. Well, we'll see. I'll probably put it together and have it like loose fit, and we'll put them both on the screen, and then we'll see which one you guys like better. This Iron Lad and Rescue together. Iron Lad looks like he's pretty straightforward. Pepper's got a lot of options though. Pepper's got 2 head options and 4 arm like different variants you can do for her arms. So depending on what you want her to do. So that's cool. Ironmonger's in 2 sprues. That's how monstrous he is. This is such a cool model. This model may be one that you need instructions for. It reminds me of the Sentinels with all these like joint pieces and whatnot. So he might need it. Now I did see that he has the options for like the missile systems and whatnot. So those are his options. Oh, that's really cool. Look at that. So the missile is like exploding and shooting out 3 smaller missiles. This one's in like the process of it. Oh, that's really cool. This is going to be a sweet model. Well, let's get them together and then take a look. Get all the stuff out of it. All right, we are back. We have our models assembled. This right here that wasn't there before is what happens when you dump this on your cutting pad. It just ate away all the white lines and whatnot. So that's great. And I lost like half of my cement there. But on to the models. Let's see. So we'll start with Kang. So I don't have him completely glued on. I definitely made this removable, which I think is the smart way to go because you're going to want to paint all of this separately. And I think even like the portal itself, you might want to paint separately. So I actually just have it blue tacked on or poster putty or whatever you can get your hands on that's pretty relatively cheap. But it all fits together really well. Um, when it came to like Kang himself, in my head, he always has the gun. He's more like technology than I feel like he is sorcery. So I did glue the gun arm on him. It is pretty cool. I like how big it is. He does come with the alternate option just to have like a closed fist in the other hand. But this model is super sweet. I'm very excited to start working on him. He was one I was very excited about. He's on my wish list for a while. Uh, so I'm very excited to get him on the board. I do like the when they come with their own special bases. I think that's a really nice touch. They are a lot lighter. I notice these bases seem to be a lot lighter, and I magnetize my bases. And these ones are definitely like deeper. So you almost need like a different set of magnets for these kinds of bases. But overall, it's really cool. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see like these tiny little things. I don't know if I can get you to see. Oh, bugs on the base there. They're all over the place. That's pretty cool. And then even the back has like detail. Like we don't normally see the back in the model and stuff. So there's a lot of detail back there too. This is a really cool model. I think this box is overall one of the best boxes AMG has put out. All the models in it are great models. Even if the characters aren't like my favorite, you know. So we'll go on to like we'll talk about some of them. So we have Rescue. We'll do Rescue next. I don't really care for Pepper Potts in the story wise and whatnot, but I tell you what, this model is cool. I was super excited about this little shield part. I didn't see that in any of the initial photos. She does come with like the other hand, so you can have like this arm down and like completely extended out. Same thing with this other arm over here. You can have it like blasting the repulsar rays and stuff like that. But I really like this shield pose that she has. I think that is a really cool pose. With this though, this shield has a horrible contact point. It's literally just like a nub and a nub touching each other on her arm. So what I did is I went ahead and I just pinned it, and that seems to solve the problem pretty. And then it just goes right back on. And then when I'm ready to glue it on, I'll glue it on. But I'm probably gonna have to end up painting it separate because I want it to look different. It'll just be easier to paint it separate than to paint it on her. But like the smoke effects are really cool to trail off and leave like this gap. I like the option for having a helmet and not having a helmet. I think I prefer the one, of course, without a helmet. I feel like the model will get boring with the helmet on. So this gives something to like kind of break it up and whatnot. And you also get to see like Pepper Potts' nice red hair and stuff. So it's a different color on the model to kind of break things up. Really cool model. And then the next one we have Iron Lad. This model, this explosion like bottom effect that AMG has come up with him for him is by far the best explosion effect they've ever come up with so far. This is such like every time that I feel like they do this, it gets better and better and better. So like, when we started off early on, I can't remember who had like a really early on explosion effect. Like you could use like Modoc and stuff like that for like early explosion effects. And then I feel like we did Carol 2 with the new core set, and that was a really good explosion effect. And I feel like this is even better than that one. It has like the multiple layers of the explosion. These little like smoke trails are awesome. Be aware though, they are like barely connected on. So any kind of pressure is definitely because like this one right here for me, you can see the white and the plastic where it's definitely like weakened. But dude, this model, I care nothing for Iron Lad in the comics. I don't care for him like I'm not worried about putting him on the board or anything, but this model is like top tier, one of their best models I think they've ever made. Uh, Problems with this model. It's the same problem I have with Pepper. The connection points on wait, let some sucker out of here. Then they're pretty tight. And it's stuck in my finger now. So the connection point for the like smoke jet that comes out is awful. It is so tiny and little. But simple solution, I cut off the peg. The peg is very small, so it doesn't really like hold in that hole. And the second you were to touch that model, it's going to flop over and go whichever way it wants. So simple solution was just to pin it. It pins perfectly in there, how I had it. And then the same problem you have with his foot connection on this piece here. It was the tiniest little peg. So you have two tiny little contact points that when you're moving your model around or whatever, it's gonna break. There's no way it doesn't break, especially if you're traveling and doing stuff like that. So the simple solution again was it's easy to just pin that point and then put him back on. And then and I think he'll be completely secure and it'll be no problem from then on. But I love this model. I'm super excited about him. I think, like I said, best explosion effect for like ground effect they've ever done. I really like that it came with a little ring of stones, so like the impact into the cement. So I think that's like another upgrade. The design team just keeps killing it and just upgrading, upgrading, upgrading. This game is just getting better and better when it comes to sculpts. And then our last model, the one, man, this model is huge. Ironmonger here. Don't mind his little missiles. They're not glued in yet because I haven't really figured out on which slot I want them to go into. I don't really like that this one's so up high, but I just need to fiddle with it and see what I want to do with him. But he has 6 holes on his back, so you can put him in any kind of like crazy order that you want to put them in. He is massive. This is a 3 thread, and like compared to Pepper, he is huge. The model went together really well. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Sentinel build, so it does have like the arm joints on the inside. They're not able to, pivot and stuff like the Sentinels are, which I do wish we kind of had more of those options. I think the Sentinels are some of the best sculpts too, with the ability to do what you want with them and having so many options. But I really like this model. I like how big and hefty he is. He's very detailed, like in like the wires and everything are showing. It's not just like plain metal. He's got a lot going on, and you don't get to see like the thruster in the back a lot either to keep him like moving because he's such a big model. He does have like the machine guns on his arm. I went ahead and my Warhammer kicked in. I drilled out the barrels a little bit because they're definitely flat. And then you have the option of all these missiles. Like I said, he's got 6 of these little holes in the back, so you can kind of put them in any way that you would like. It seems like they all kind of only go into the one side. They don't really go into the other side very deep, so I think these holes might be deeper than the others. Now, since I have this model early, there was no instructions available on AMG's website, so thank God he was not a hard model to put together because that would have really sucked. But I really like this model. I'm really excited to get all of these models painted. Like I said, I think this is a fantastic box that they've come up with here. I like all these characters. I like all these sculpts. Uh, I'm very excited to get them painted up and get them ready for the board. And for like pinning purposes and stuff, I'm not sponsored by this at all or anything, but this is what I use, and I would highly suggest taking a look at it. It's called the Wow Stick, and it comes with a whole bunch of like bits for all the different sizes and whatnot. But their first bit size right here is the like ideal size for just generic paper clips. And this is what I use for everything. And it's like not super fast. So when it does drill into stuff, um, like it's so smooth and easy to do, and it's so easy to control. So you're not just like pushing and popping right through the other end. It's really easy to tell like where you are with things. The battery, these things are battery charged, like you just charge them up like a phone charger or whatever. I've had this thing for like over a year, if not like 2 years. I've never charged this thing. Like it's crazy. It does have special bits, which is a downside. So like generic bits don't really fit in there because they do have like these fat little ends to them. So if you do break one, especially this one, your very smallest one, if you do break that one, that is an unfortunate part that you aren't gonna really find anything to fit back into this spot because it's made for the wax stick. So just keep that in mind. Be careful with it, of course. The only one I've ever had problems with is the smallest one because it is definitely it's thin. But this thing is the best. You can find it. I think I got mine off of Amazon. But they're the best pin vice drill things I've ever had. I love it. So shout out to Wow Stick and their awesome drilling. Like I said, we're not sponsored or anything. I just love it. Thanks again to AMG for sending us out these cool new models so we can get them on the board. We're planning on getting the battle report out here real soon. That's my next step is now they're built. Time to paint them. And I'll see you next time. See ya.